What's up, YouTube? And welcome back to TPT. My name is Photoshooty, and I'm here with the second place Darkwood deck profile. And joining me today is Lay Murphy. What's up, Lay Murphy?
Hello.
So, first of all, what was the reason for you to play Darkwood in the first ever tournament of
Yeah,
TPT
it
account?
felt so nostalgic because I started the game around 2012 after Structure Deck release, and the friends told me, yeah, it seems cool, and so I bought the Structure Deck 3 times. And I played the deck, I think, until 2016, and I had so much fun with it. And I recognized, oh, it's legal in Tango Plant. Yeah, let's play it in Tango Plant.
So, what do you think is the spot for Darkwood, especially in this format? I mean, you don't have.
It's absolutely a top deck. There is debate between Angels and Tango Plants between being the best deck in this format, but also Yeah, people completely underestimate this deck. I recognized it has such a enormous power, and the Agents matchup is so good because the decks they can't really deal with the 3000 beat stick Grapher. The only problem with the deck is the consistency. You might have some hands where you brick a lot and it takes a couple of turns to come into the game. Still a problem for Dark World in every year where the deck was viable. But overall, if you don't brick, the power level of this deck is super high.
So, a lot of people complained about Darkwood being in this format. So, what is your opinion? Do you think the format gets worse by the inclusion, or do you think it adds the variety, and especially if other decks have to consider how many cards they have to side for the Darkwood matchup?
Yeah, I can understand the people who don't like this deck and who wish the Dark World shouldn't be legal in this format. Maybe because they lost to the deck. Yeah, it also makes side decking in general more difficult because you have less side deck spots for other decks. But I think Darkwood in this format is fine. You just have to know how to play and choose some side deck options that are more general and also good specifically against the Dark World matchup like Shadow Imprisoning Mirror and Dimensional Prison. I expected to see lots of Shadow Imprisoning Mirrors and Dimensional Prisons and Dimensional Fissure in some decks, but I didn't see a lot of Shadow Imprisoning Mirror and Dimensional Pressure, which made playing this deck for me pretty easy during the tournament.
Yeah, I saw a lot of TGs done in this tournament, which quite surprised me. So, I mean, TG Stun is a stun deck that can't side a Fissure that effectively, so that was the reason for this probably. But you could also side Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. I mean, you don't get Evolve of Search, but that's about it. So yeah, we got your list here. I mean, it's kind of reminds me of Claudio's list from Brighton. Um, it's very similar to my list because my list is also inspired by Claudio's list, and I think that's most of the Darkwood builds are very similar to this list. I mean, besides wind up Zenmates in the extra deck, or maybe Dark Smoke because those cards are not legal in our format. So yeah, what would you change about the deck? Which were the cards you thought were working pretty well in the tournament?
Yeah, overall, triple tour guide worked pretty well. There are a couple of people who played only two tour guide, like the Michael Ballan from YCS Longdao in 2012 and One Malefic Stardust Dragon. Yeah, Malefic Stardust Dragon was legal in Tango Plant, but only for 3 days and not in a YCS Columbus format. So even if Malefic Stardust Dragon would be legal, I wouldn't play it and just stick to the free tour guide in the main deck. Yeah, I also discovered that lots of Dark World decks are playing Dark Hole in the main deck, but I tested it out and it was just not really necessary. I had not so many situations where Deco on the main deck was really great, and therefore I decided to cut Dark World and play some other cards. I also was pretty scared of lots of tank plant players, which could go into Black Rose Dragon, and Black Rose could nuke my entire field. This is a huge problem in Dark World because you are playing cards like Dragdown into the Grave. And if you want to play Dragdown into the Grave, you have to set your entire hand so that you have only Dark World monsters in your hand. And if you set your entire spells, ev- even though yeah, you can use them in the same turn, but sometimes you draw a dealings and you can't use dealings right away because after Rackdown you have no Darkwood monsters left. And after you set your entire spell and trap line up to activate Rackdown, you are basically lost if you get hit by a heavy storm. So I played Starlight Road in the main deck for a couple of weeks, and then I decided last minute, yeah, but Starlight Road is only really good if you are super scared against Heavy Storm and decks who can go into Black Rose Dragon. But if I choose a card that can prevent them to go into Black Rose Dragon, it should be also fine. And I was not sure about Dust Shoot because it requires the opponent to have 4 cards in the hand, and I at least I decided to play Trap Dust Shoot because it synergizes very well with Mind Crush, and yeah, it was considered to be a staple in this format. And in the game where I had the card, it came good most of the times.
Yeah, also synergizes very well with cards like Minecraft. So yeah, how were the virus cards working for you? Because when you talked about the deck in in the Discord, you said that you were considering to move the virus cards to the side deck. So what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think one virus and a mind deck might be fine, but maybe 2 or more wouldn't work in this build really well because you need to have Grapha into the game, and when you don't have Grapha, the virus are dead cards. And this is what happened, I think, in the final match against X-Saber, where I had the deck Devastation virus, and I couldn't use the card because I did not have Grapha.
So it's a card like you already told us in the Discord that is great when you are in a winning position. I mean, when you hit the virus for, I think you hit Mika for 4 monsters.
Yeah, in the game 1 versus X-Saber, I just had Foolish Burial and Bro on my starting hand, I guess, and used the virus. It destroyed 4 monsters in his hand, and this was game at this point. So if you can use the virus cards, they are very powerful. But if you can't use them, which is more likely in game 2 and 3, they are not that insane. And yeah, I wouldn't recommend to play more than one in the main deck, and also I have to think about the side deck choices, especially the virus cards and some other cards.
Would you change anything in your side deck?
Yeah, I'm not completely sure if this would be my final side deck. There are some cards I haven't tested a lot, and I'm not sure if they are worth playing in the side deck, like the Starlight Road. I had no option to use this card against Tango Plant. Also, the Bottomless Trap Hole, this was kind of a last minute choice. Some other decks use Bottomless Trap Hole in the side deck for the mirror match and also agents, but I think yeah, the agent matchup is already pretty good, and I had just one slot in the side deck left, so I tested out bottomless triple, but I didn't draw it in the tournament, I guess. So I can't tell if it's good or bad. Yeah, Starlight Road, same. Also not sure with the skill drain. Yeah, the opponent could just beat on you, and yeah, skill drain especially helps the opponent if you lose 1000 life points. Other than rivalry allows the opponent to have only one type on the board. which also reduces the monster count and makes getting beat down much slower for the opponent. So maybe only one skill train in the main deck and no skill train in the side deck. The bottom loss is a choice that I have to test out more to see if it's worth, and also the Starlight Road. But I think I would keep the rest of the cards. Yeah, free Mystical Space Typhoon staple. Fabled Raven. It seemed to be the best card in the mirror match if we have don't if you don't have Dark Smoke yet. So Fabled Raven could be the best choice for the mirror match. And Morphing Jar came also very good in the times where I drew it. The reason behind Morphing Jar is that the most opponents who know that some cards like Effect Veiler might be dead against Dark World, they are going to side this out, and then Morphing Jar can resolve, and they ran into it. You can trigger your Dark World effects and get a lots of pluses, or if you don't, can use the Dark World effects. If the opponent have Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, then you can maybe draw one MST out of the 5 draws, destroy the Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, and come into the game out of Morphing Jar. And this is what happened in game 2 against the Genix Mist Valley deck, where they had D-Fissure. Uh, yeah, I'm not sure if it's what's Genex or a different deck with either Dimensional Fissure or Shadow Imprisoning Mirror.
It
And
was
then,
the Mist Valley deck.
yeah, I was pretty close to draw Mystical Space Typhoon to counter that deck. And then if I can play my Darkwood engine, I would beat them normally. So it can help in the times where I'm stuck, or if it just resolves and I can trigger all of my Darkwood effects. That's also, uh, yeah, almost as good as card destruction, but it helps the opponent more than card destruction because they also draw 5 cards.
All right. So, congratulations for making second place. I hope you join us for our next tournament. More infos will follow soon regarding that. We're still working out a new date. So, that was the second place deck profile from Lay Murphy's Darkwood deck. Would you like to greet someone or say something now at the end?
Yeah, I want to say that my plans for the future are pushing Darkwood into the tops in head format also, and some other retro formats if there are any tournaments. And I want to greet every other Dark World player, especially my old friends from ETCG. And yeah, have fun, enjoy retro formats, and see you soon in other tournaments.
Alright, now if you want to join the TP Tango Plan Town, you can join the Discord. We got a ranked system and also a new tournament coming up, which is going to be the second edition of Tengumania. Until then, see you soon and goodbye.